Old school talk, R&B, and hip hop. WPMM online radio.
The Truth with G.
Yeah, you are now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G.
All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G, WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Gerald Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about the issues that matter to you and your community. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with everyone. Glad to see you back. We are at the top of the week. Everybody out grinding today after the weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a safe weekend. Hope you stayed cool, because it's been a little warm out there, not just in the Florida area, but across the country. We experiencing a unprecedented heat wave across the country. So I hope you guys are staying hydrated, staying safe out there. But I want to thank you for joining me right here once again on WPMM Internet Radio with The Truth with G. I want to thank my listening audience for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. I tell everybody that I have the greatest audience in the world, and I truly mean that. I tell you that just about every show. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. It looks like we have a couple people jumped on Facebook already. How you doing today, Miss Rivers? If you're out there, let me know you're out there. Send me a comment, heart, something out there. Let me know you're out there. Mr. Walter Davis is listening tonight as well. Good to see you on. So tonight, again, it's Monday night, the start of the week. We got a couple topics that we're going to cover today, but do need to take care of the particulars. But a couple things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the state of Florida. The state of Florida done lost their damn minds. It's like literally. Racism is so rampant in our legislation, our legislators, and our governor. It is ridiculous. They are trying to completely wipe out the history of people that look like me. And they don't want the young ones that's coming up to know how they pillaged and how they killed and maimed and raped people that look like me. So the state of Florida has done lost their damn mind. We're going to talk about that tonight. Also, local violence. Local violence has seemed to be hitting a peak for whatever reason. Just over the last few days and last week or so, we have had a rash of violent acts that has taken place. We're going to talk about that as well. We need to talk about some solutions as to how we're going to get this problem taken care of. So also, I'm going to talk about a panel that I had the privilege of sitting on last Thursday night. That's why I did not do a live show. It's where Black kings or Black men, we had the opportunity to speak on Black man issues, and we'll talk about how that went. And I want to, technology is a beast. And when I get to that topic, there's an interesting take that came from a female perspective that I want to play for you guys. The only thing is that it's like the technology is acting up. I was trying to get it to act right before I came on air, and it's just crazy. But anyway, we'll talk about that as well. So also, we're going to talk about the third anniversary of The Truth with G coming up and what we're doing for that. But we are WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy G, the host of The Truth with G. WPMM Radio, we play the best in R&B, jazz, neo-soul, talk, independent hip-hop, old school music. You can listen from the website at WPMMradio.com. You can go to TuneIn. You can tell Alexa to play. You can also go to the iPhone store or the apps, the Google App Store, and download the free app to listen as well. We're also streaming live on Facebook. I think we got kicked off Twitter for some odd reason, and I might be the reason for that. We're on YouTube and Twitch as well. If you have someone who may not be tech savvy, just text them, WPMMradio.com. All they have to do is click on the link and hit play, and they can listen to the show just that easy. So make sure that you text them that. The views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM Radio does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. All right, now that we have that out the way, I had to take care of the particulars. Once again, if you're on Facebook, let me know you're out there. Hit a thumbs up, hit a heart, hit something, drop a comment in the comment section. We're actually going to try to open up the phone lines as well, so if you have something to say, if you want to call me, we're going to open up the phone lines here in a little bit as well. And I'll give that number out, and if you're on Facebook, the number will probably be going across the bottom of the screen also. But I hope all is doing well. I hope everybody's doing great. Is my day started out kind of rough. It's just, when you're dealing with getting older, and you're dealing with trying to, even though you're getting older, you're trying to live healthy and you're trying to do healthy things or whatever, your body just don't respond like it used to. So it's I've been like trying to get right. And some mornings I wake up and I ain't right. And some mornings I wake up and I feel okay. But this was one of those rough mornings for me. But I'm bounced back. I feel okay now. I feel pretty decent now. So, I weathered the storm, and now I got to press on. But before we get started on the topics, just real quick, the 3rd anniversary of The Truth with G is coming up here July 30th, just in a few days. Saturday is the 30th. That's the day that I started this show 3 years ago, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride these 3 years. I have gained a lot of followers, if you will. I've gained a lot of listeners. I have received a lot of thank yous, and I appreciate you, things of that nature. And I get a lot of, I didn't know about this and I didn't know about that. And that's the whole reason why I do this, is to make sure that whatever information that I have, I pass it on to you guys, because we don't always get the information, and then we don't always get the right information. So I want to make sure that you guys get the right information and get the truth about it, not something fabricated, not something made up from someone. We deal in facts on this show. We don't deal in gossip or anything of that nature. We definitely deal in facts. And even if I give you my opinion is usually based in fact. So that's how we roll on the show. So Miss Tamisha, is that Tamisha Neds is listening on Facebook. Good to see you on. She said, I feel you on that. Had a rough start to this morning too. So, like I say, age is creeping up on me. I'm coming up on a birthday in a couple months here. And, time don't slow down for you. It's definitely don't slow down. But anyway, we're coming up on the 3rd year of The Truth with G. And I thought about what I was going to do for my 3rd year anniversary. I thought about doing a big to-do to celebrate me and what I do on the show or whatever. And then I thought that's not really what my show is about, to celebrate me. My show is not about me. And so I decided that I would help others. And helping the homeless is what I chose to do. That's my quest. My goal is to help the homeless. And about a month ago, I started soliciting donations to assist me in my efforts to get items, much needed personal items, toiletry items, things of that nature, into the hands of those who have not. And I do first want to thank any and everyone. I put a post out earlier. I want to thank any and everyone who donated, who have donated to this point. I want to thank them so very much for their generosity and their donations. The theme of this drive is anything helps. So, I don't want anybody to feel like, I didn't give enough, or I can't give this and I can't give that, because it's simply what it says. Anything helps. A penny, a nickel, a dime, it does not matter. Anything helps. It all adds up, and it adds up to where someone that have not can have something, and that's the goal. Any donations that I get, monetary donations, though, that monetary donations would go toward the purchase of personal items, hygiene items, socks, T-shirts, Uh, Also, it will be nutritional snacks as well that will be purchased, and everything will be put in individual bags. I have some people that is looking to donate some of the drawstring bags so that I can pack those bags up. Thank you to those guys who are doing that as well. I really do appreciate you. But I'm going to bag all these items up, and I will personally go around the city of Pensacola, and I will personally be handing out these bags to our homeless. I have solicited the help of Mr. Caleb Houston to assist me in finding where the homeless camps are and things of that nature. So he has agreed to do that. He has also agreed to, he has some items as well that he is going to donate. Again, anybody, I don't want to start throwing out names of people who have donated, but for whoever out there that have donated anything or donated anything or help in any kind of way, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. But I'm taking donations up until the 29th, which is Saturday. Saturday be the last day I'm taking donations, whether monetary donations or if you want to drop personal items off at the station, you can do that as well. Go to my Facebook page because I just forgot the address to the station. But we're on Michigan Avenue. I apologize that I don't have that information. That's my fault. So, but you can drop any personal item. If you got personal items that you want to donate, drop them off at the station here on Michigan Avenue. We're right near the corner of Michigan and, dang it, I just opened my mouth and can't finish the answer. But Change Your Horizon Media Group, just Google it. The address is online. And monetary donations is via Cash App, $GRAH67. It's the Cash App that you can donate to. So, but that's that. That's what we're doing for my 3rd anniversary, helping others. Just like I did for Thanksgiving the last couple of years. I did, the food, feeding families for Thanksgiving, which I helped families put Thanksgiving dinner on the table. And that went very well for a couple of years. And now I'm on the quest to help our homeless community. And once again, thank you to all those who have donated. Thank you to those who have wanted to donate it but don't have the means to do so. Thank you for even having the will and the want to do so. God bless you. So let's talk about the state of Florida. Should we talk about this local violence first? Now let's talk about the state of Florida first because, the state of Florida, once again, done lost their damn mind. They done truly lost their ever-loving mind. From dumbass to Satan on down. And it seems like more dumb people are lining up to do more dumb things and more racist things. It's been more racist legislation introduced and passed through our state government in the past 2 years, and I think since prior to the civil rights movement, if you will. Mr. John Adams, what's going on, sir? How you doing? Good to see you on here. I hadn't heard from you in a little bit, but good to see you on here. I see you have been look like you've been traveling a little bit. I need for you to slow down a little bit. You can know. So, but anyway, I'm just messing with you, Mr. Adams. But the state of Florida done lost their damn mind under the direction of dumbass DeSantis. Our school systems are being mandated to teach lies. How do you mandate a school system to teach falsehoods, to teach lies, to cover up or to try to whitewash Black history? How do you even get other people on board to do that? And I'll tell you how that happens. When you have a racist leader and when you have racist followers of that leader, that's how stuff like that happens. And it has definitely happened in the state of Florida. We have heard about other legislation that has went through that has been racist in content. And now we have a mandated curriculum for our middle school students and our high school students to learn lies. It's not. You know, with our history and with the way history has been taught, we have already been lied to enough, and now to put this on top of it. And the biggest, and this is the biggest, most outrageous lie that has been ran through our legislative branch in here in the state of Florida. And what they are saying from the governor and the Board of Education, the members who voted to pass this bullcrap, they're saying that black people benefited from slavery. Black people benefited from slavery. And they're going to teach this in our schools. They're also going to teach that in the massacres that took place, that burned down black communities, they're going to be taught that there were violence on both sides. Again, this is mandated. I don't know if you understand the word mandated, but mandated means required. Mandated means that you have to do this. Mandate, it means that you can't get around it, if you will. And if I can just get my internet to work correctly, I want to read what exactly the state of Florida is saying in regards to this bull. I keep saying bull crap, but you guys know I mean bullshit. And I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying to get back next to God, but you know, this foolishness just won't let me not use these type of words. But we're gonna open up the phone lines as well, 850-221-0396. After once I read this story and give you all the background, if you will. Gonna open up the lines if I can get my internet to work right. But yeah, the state of Florida is mandating that we teach these children lies. And we're gonna get this up here in a minute. I do appreciate your patience. And whatever is going on, it's just not allowing me to be great right now. So, Mr. Adams, I don't know if you out on the road today or whatever the case may be, but I want your 30-second take on this subject. You can leave it in the comments, or you can give me a call, 850-221-0396. It's the number to call. And y'all bear with me just one moment here, because we're going to get this right. We are going to get this right. And what I'm trying to do is pull up the background story, but the internet is giving me fits right now. And I think it's Mark Zuckerberg that's doing it. Mark Zuckerberg, every time I do something on Facebook, I have technical issues. And I think once I started talking about the racism and the inequality that goes on in our surroundings, they seem to want to stifle what I have to say. But we're gonna get this out one way or the other. So, and I have a call on the line, but I want you to hold. I want you to hold just a moment, if you would. Hold just a moment. The caller that's on the line, I want to get through this story before I bring you in. So just hold on the line for just a moment while I read the report to give you the specifics in regards to this bullshit that's going on in the state of Florida. Okay, it's the Florida Board of Education approved new set of standards for how black history should be taught in state public schools, sparking criticism from the education and civil rights advocates who said their students should be allowed to learn the full truth of American history. The curriculum was approved at the board's meeting on Wednesday in Orlando. It is the latest development in the state's ongoing debate over African American history, including the Education Department rejection of a preliminary pilot version of advanced placement African American studies course for high school students, which is claimed lack educational value, if y'all remember that one. The new standards come after the state passed legislation under Governor Dumbass DeSantis that bars introduction in schools that suggests that anyone is privileged or oppressed based on their race or skin color. DeSantis has used his fight against wokeness, and that asshole don't know what woke means. And he proved that over the weekend when he was asked about what it meant, and he couldn't answer the damn question, dumbass. But anyway, that's not in the article. That's my opinion. To boost its national profile and amid a national discussion on how racism and history should be taught in schools, the new standards require instruction for middle school students to include how slaves developed skills, which in some instances could be applied to their personal benefit. Oh, my God. A document using these standards and posted in the Florida Department of Education website when high school students learn about the events such as the 1920 Ocoee massacre. And this is a massacre where black people were killed, where the white racists came in and they basically burned down the town, if you will. But anyway, reading on, the new rules require that instructions include, and this is what they want to include in this massacre where black people were purposely sought out and killed. They want to include acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans. You hear this bullshit? I'm going to read that again. The instructions must include acts of violence and perpetrated against and by African Americans. Now, the massacre is considered the deadliest election day violence in U.S. history, and according to several historians of the incident, it started when Moses Norman, a prominent black landowner in Ocoee, Florida community, attempted to cast his ballot and turned away by white workers. So, yeah. So they want to whitewash and lie and blame black people for their own demise. They want to blame black people for the white people killing them. And that's mandated to be taught and included in the curriculum in our schools. Ain't that some bullshit? Mr. Caller, you still with me?
Yeah, what's up, G?
What's going on, Mr. John? How you doing this evening?
Hey, man, slow motion down here in Laredo, Texas is hot, man.
Yeah, it's hot here. Don't cross the river down there. You got barbed wire in the water.
No, I ain't trying to do that, bro.
So what do you think about dumbass DeSantis and this Board of Education trying to whitewash black history and including the fact that in that massacre, in that 1920 massacre, that we are responsible for that?
Well, I didn't know it up until DeSantis, first of all, was a history major from Yale College. I didn't know that. So I guess he learned some stuff in history class in college that he didn't like. And he wants to try to change history. I guess that's my take on it. But here's the thing. It says they taught slaves skills that they can use later in life for personal use, something like that, right? But my word is may not be right, but that's basically what he's saying, right?
Yeah, they benefited from being enslaved. They benefited.
So there's no higher skill to somebody can learn than to read and write. But we weren't taught to read and write. Okay. Anything we learned or anything we did, a lot of times we learned it on the continent and brought it over here. See, we taught them how to plant rice. They ain't know nothing about rice. You know, we were the ones that had the skills. They didn't have any skills. That's why they went to us over to Africa and brought us over here.
Well, but here,
So
go ahead, Go ahead. Finish your thought.
no, so for him to say that we were taught a skill, that's so unfactually untrue. For because the skills that we used, whether it be blacksmith and shoe and horse stuff like that, we were doing now in the continent of Africa. They have horses in Africa,
Right. So but here's for dumbass DeSantis and this board, this education board that voted, they all voted yes. It was a unanimous vote. These dumbass people that sits and take our money to oppress us.
You know why? Because you got a lazy, sorry, no good for nothing teachers union in the state. And that's why I said it, because the teachers union is supposed to protect the teachers are supposed to protect the students. It goes in that order. So if you don't have anybody protecting the teachers, how are you going to protect the students and make them and keep them learning something? Because they wouldn't get away with that in a state or district that had a strong teachers union. That wouldn't even fly. And the teachers in the union, if they ain't got a certain amount of numbers soon, they're gonna be doing away with the union. Because you don't have to be a member of the union in the state to work. Because of the right to work state.
Well, it's even with the union, when you have members of the board, and I don't recall voting for members of the state education board. If we vote for them, I don't know if they're appointed.
They're appointed.
Okay,
they're appointed by the governor.
Right, because I don't remember seeing that on the ballot. So obviously, if you got a dumbass racist for a governor, he's going to appoint a board that thinks and acts like he does. Well, now you got a board full of assholes.
Well, when you got most of your union members, most of your teachers in this state support DeSantis. So how are you going to win?
Well, see, those are dumb teachers. Because if they're
the ones that are teaching our kids.
Right. And they're
and they eat their own. You saw that a couple of months ago right here in Escambia County. How they did Dr. Smith. You saw that.
Right.
They eat their own.
But we have races we have races everywhere, and unfortunately we have a lot of teachers that are racist.
This is true.
But for any teacher to sit and if let me say this: if I was a teacher, there's no way in hell that I would teach this crap. I don't care if it's mandated. I don't care if it would not appear in my lesson plan. It would not appear on any test. I would not teach this. Period. I would give up my job before I taught this mess.
And that's what's probably going to happen in a lot of cases.
I would give up my job. But how did and I put it out there earlier, and I'm asked the same question again. It's a rhetorical question, so you really don't have to answer it. But how did black people benefit from being kidnapped from their land, from being bought and sold, from being beaten, from being raped, being mutilated, being degraded, being not allowed to read or get an education, not having any civil or human rights? How do we benefit from slavery? There is no benefit, and there is no justification.
Other than learning how to survive.
Right, and that, there's millions that died in the slave trade. So the survival was the exception.
Yeah.
One part of the rule, the survival was the exception, because there was probably more slaves that died in the slave trade that were enslaved.
Oh, it was.
So there's
They
no
work.
benefit, but for this asshole and this board of education, these members on this board to put this crap in our curriculum and force feed this to our kids is unacceptable.
Well, that's called people not getting out and vote when they should have voted. That's called people not wanting to go to your PTA meetings and voice their opinion on stuff like that and keep up what's going on in school. That's how this stuff just got, swept under the or just overlooked, and just all of a sudden now, oh, guess what? This is what's going down. But where were you when this was planned? People don't care, and especially now. I mean, I think how many you may know the numbers. How many representatives in Florida? I'm talking for
Hold on, you cut out a little bit.
how many representatives, House representatives are in the Florida House?
We have 1, 2.
213
3,
is getting
4.
a number for me for some reason. I'm not sure.
No, it's not. No, it's not 213. It's nowhere near that many. Dang it. You would ask me that.
Well, no, that's okay. But I'm just saying because we only have about 10 or 12 Democrats. Because remember, they redid the district lines. So when you control, first of all, when you can get the Florida legislature, House and the Senate, to change a law where you can get a job, run for a job promotion. Okay. You got them in your pocket. You can do whatever you want to do. And they love this man. Not enough for him to be president, obviously, but they love him. And I'm just sorry to say, man, there's no way you can go when you control the House, the Senate, the Florida Supreme Court, and now the U.S. Supreme Court is conservative. You see what they're doing now? They wouldn't even probably hear the case. So what are you going to do? It's too late. Unfortunately, it is. But what we need to do is I heard a very good solution today.
What's that?
Would be basically we need to teach Black history in our churches, just like the Jewish people teach their history in their synagogues. So when a boy turns to be 13 years old, he has to know all of his history before he is, confirmed for his bar mitzvah. So we should start doing that in church.
Well, see, that's a whole nother show right there.
But if we don't do it there, where are they going to get it?
No. I'm not saying you're not right. I'm not saying you're not right. I'm just saying that, when I start talking about these churches, I go hard.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
I don't want you to go hard tonight on that.
Because
that's the only solution.
I don't think our churches are doing what they're supposed to do.
And that's something we need to start doing.
Right, and it's not all churches that are doing bad, but there are quite a few that does nothing in the community. All they do is showboat, and take your money, and that's it. So we have too many of those, and we don't have enough churches that doing any type of community outreach, any type of action in regards to educating the people that are sits in their pews and whatever. We have too many churches that are not doing that.
Right, and we need to get back to doing that, because if we don't do it, if we don't teach our own kids about our own history, who's going to do it now?
And even with the church, we are only going to touch a small population as far as teaching it in the church, because especially with the status of the churches nowadays, the churches are running a lot of people away. So we have to. Let's not like you said. Let's not. I didn't mean to get. I go
on
in
the churches and get you on a tantrum.
I go in.
You go in, but I just don't know what else to do, man. I mean, the teachers have to teach if they're gonna keep their job. They have to teach it.
Well, I would be.
And right now, there's a teacher shortage right now. If you and you know what too, it's a slippery slope. I really think that public education in the state of Florida is on a ventilator.
Well, the only way
because
the only way
charter
that's
schools charter schools are coming.
Well, it's going to depend. It's going to depend on the leadership.
Coming.
It's going to depend on the leadership who we have in.
Well, who we got now? What's the leadership doing, Gerald?
Well, right now they're trying to put us back in slavery. Is what they're doing right now.
Exactly.
So, but you know,
like
we
you
only
just said,
got
if teachers stop. Look, if teachers stop teaching or stop wanting to teach, what are we going to do?
Well, you know, we got a just a little bit longer with dumbass in office.
No. He done got him where he wanted. I really believe if he doesn't make he third term.
Well, you're breaking up a little bit, Mr. John.
No, I said if he doesn't do well, if he don't beat Trump, then in 2 years for the House and Senate to change the can run for a third, take off that term.
Well, I can see them attempting that. I can see them attempting that, but I would think that the courts would get involved. And
no, there's nothing the courts can do. It's states' rights, Gerald.
I think the courts can overturn that, just like they
can't.
Just like they can overturn that redistricting, which they have.
Well, no, but see, that was a whole different thing. That's about voter rights and voter suppression. This, if a man wants to be a third term, he can do that, and that's states' rights. You have plenty of states in this. It's county commissioners, city councils, mayors. They don't have term limits. Only governors got a term limit, and he can fight and overturn that if he wants to.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case, and I'll do a little research. I
hope not. But think about it; it could be. He got him to change the law that's been in effect for years, where you got to resign to run. And guess what? They did that for him. So you think he won't go back and say, I'm still a young man. I've been in Washington D.C. in the House. I want to be a governor for life. George Wallace tried it. He could try it, and I bet you he would get it because they like him. They like him as a governor.
Well, the racist Republicans like him as a governor.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
We know we have. But here's the thing: even with that, if we can, he wouldn't be there if we would have gotten more people out.
No, it was the Cubans
to vote.
If the Cubans in Miami would have voted Democrat in 2018 and not been so mad at Obama for opening up Cuba because they didn't like Castro, then Andrew Gillum would probably have been the governor because he only won by a percentage, like 1% or something like that.
Right.
He won by a very small margin in 2018.
Exactly. And
in 2022,
but the black
we didn't have anybody.
But the black vote played a big role in that. Even though the black vote was a high turnout compared to history, it wasn't enough. We was just short of 60% on the black vote in the state of Florida in that election. If we had got, and I kept saying that whole election cycle, I kept saying that we have to get 80% plus.
Oh, you weren't gonna get that, Gerald.
That's the thing. We got to stop.
We haven't seen 80% voting since Reconstruction, man.
But
we haven't seen that.
But that's the thing. We have to get the word out to our people that the vote is important, and we have to come up with a way to get these people out to vote, because we, with the way things are going now, voter suppression is real. We're going to be back to guessing how many jelly beans in a jar in a minute, because we're not getting out to vote. 60% is not going to do it, because we're a sliver of we're less than 13% of the population. So the black vote, we have to be 80% plus in order to make things move and make things happen. And we have to get that word out to the people, to our people.
But 60%, right. But 60% voter turnout is real good. I don't think DeSantis got 60% voter turnout in this last election.
No, he didn't. He didn't have to get 60% because
right, but that's what I'm saying.
The state of Florida
that's what I'm saying.
Is a red state, so you have more registered. You know, we're outnumbered. Just in Republican to Democrat, we're outnumbered anyway.
True.
So you know,
and
that's why we have to have a very high turnout.
Miami-Dade County was the reason that Andrew Gillum didn't make it. And then the dumbass, instead of him fighting, he wanted to concede before all the damn votes were counted. You know, so he kind of let me down doing that. But then it went into a runout. It went into a recount. And he only lost by like 1.5% or something like that, which was very, 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 very narrow. He ran a good race. Now, Charlie Crist, on the other hand, I mean, I had to vote for Chris just because I had to vote for him. I held my note twice for him to vote. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But, you know, and we had Val Demings, but people on this end of Florida didn't even know who Val Demings was because she didn't even campaign up here.
Well, you know, she was running for that Senate seat,
and she didn't run a good race to me. She didn't run a good campaign.
Yeah, but
look, I've been all over the state of Florida. Okay, all over the state of Florida in this truck I'm sitting in right now. Once you get south of Tallahassee, you were seeing Val Demings commercials all on the TV. You see Val Demings signs all over. You get on this end of Tallahassee, you don't see nothing. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks before the election, the Democratic committee had to go to Tallahassee to pick up the yard signs. They wouldn't even mail them to Pensacola.
But here's the thing about that, and we've discussed this before, and I've voiced my opinion on it. As far as the advertisement, as far as the yard signs, as far as the travel and whatnot, all that takes money to do. And it seems that the person with the most money wins the election. The election shouldn't be based on how much money you got.
You know who tied up the money on that campaign? The Democratic National Committee headed by by Jamie Harris.
But it shouldn't even. I mean, money. In my opinion, it's just my view and my opinion. Money should not be an issue. I personally believe
it takes money to run an election.
But I'm just saying. I expect people to have more common damn sense. Is what I expect people to have. And I don't think it takes a commercial or yard sign or a billboard for people to have common damn sense. It doesn't take money.
How are you going?
Common sense is free.
Okay,
it doesn't cost a penny.
I give you that. I give you that.
And in my opinion, of people with common sense, all they have to do is if you apply common sense with what is going on in the world today and look at what the Republicans are doing, to look at the agenda that they're pushing versus looking at the agenda that the Democrats are pushing and what have you, it's a no-brainer. I don't need a yard sign. I don't need a billboard. All I need to know is that these Republicans are pushing a racist agenda. I'm a black person. I'm a Hispanic person. I'm a gay. I'm a lesbian. What have you? All their policies are against me. I don't need somebody to put up a sign. All I got to do is see a Democrat on the ticket, and I'm voting Democrat. I don't even have to know the person's name or what they look like or who they go with. I don't have to know any of that in today's society. 30 years ago, yeah. But today, common damn sense should take a role in who you put in office, and everybody should know that the Republicans have a racist agenda. They want to erase black history. They want to put us back in, Jim Crow type era. And that's all it takes. We don't need yard signs to do that. So I can't go with the argument that that we had to have that, somebody like Val Demings had to campaign here, and she had to stop here, and she had to put signs here and put advertisement here. I don't believe in that. It's just that's just me,
Gerald.
And I just expect people to have common sense.
But Gerald, listen. First of all, common sense ain't so common. Second of all, you know why people like you, myself, Sean, a lot of your listeners on this show agree with you on that? Because we're woke. And this is what your governor's trying to stop people from being woke. We know, we keep up with politics. We keep up with who's running for what. We keep up with who's in the city council. We go to county commissioner meetings. We go to school board meetings. We're up on this. But a lot of people are not. So for those people that are not, you got to get out there with a yard sign, with a billboard, with a television commercial, and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Come aboard if you want to live and survive in a good country. So there's the difference right there, Gerald. That's why you got to have advertising. For the young person in Pensacola Village or Addis Court or Lincoln Park or Wedgewood who don't vote or just not starting to vote, this is why you got to get them. This is how you get them energized by that. And if you don't do that, how they gonna know who you are? Well, we know who Val Demings was.
But that goes
because
back.
we are woke. We understand the politics. We understand the head of the Senate race. This person's running against Marco Rubio. This person running against DeSantis. Hey, let's find out what's going on with them.
Well,
we know this. We got to do this. It's called we're educated in politics.
Right, but it comes down to
educate people in politics.
But it comes down.
That's why you got to have education. But that's why you have money for the advertisement, Gerald.
Right. Again, but if you look at any campaign, especially with black people running, you look at any campaign. Black people don't have the billionaires that's donating. They don't have the millionaires that's donating. They base their campaign on the people like me and you who's going to donate that little $5 or what have you, whatever, to their campaign. And they're not going to have the money to put up the billboards, and they're not going to have the money to run commercials all day long. They're not going to have that money. But we should not be forced to turn our TVs on to see a commercial. We should be, as a people, and I know we're not there yet. As a people, we should be willing enough and able enough to educate ourselves. Mr. Larry P just put a comment in the comments. He said education starts at home.
That's right.
So we need to educate ourselves, and that's the purpose. That's one of the purposes of this show. This is one of the main purposes of this show right here, is to get the people who don't pay attention to ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and whatever, that don't pay attention to that may tune in to me and listen and hear something that they don't know. That's the whole purpose of this show, is to educate people on what's going on around them. To make them,
but if they're not interested in what you're talking about, they're not going to tune in.
Right, but that's the thing. But you'll be amazed at how many people come up to me and tell me that they appreciate what I do. That tell me that I don't listen to the news, but I listen to you, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And those are the ones that we're trying to reach. And if I could clone myself 1,000 times, I get the word out quicker. But you go tell Lumen, when he gets ready to run in a couple of years for re-election, not to do a yard sign, a T-shirt, or anything, or any kind of TV ads, just because we know who Lumen is and we're supposed to go vote for him. Yeah, we do, but there's a lot of people don't know who Lumen is. Right, but like I said,
so he's got to spend that money to run a campaign.
But my thing.
What's up, Lumen? I didn't mean to use your name like that, but you just have to pop in my mind.
But the point I'm trying to make is that we should not. I don't think that a campaign should be based on how much money that you can raise. I personally think, and it probably never happened. I personally think there should be a cap on fundraising for campaigns. It should be a cap.
Oh, it was.
It should
It
be.
was
It
at one time. The
should
Supreme
be.
Court did away with it.
It should be a cap. It should be a general rule where it should be a blanket donation fund for campaigns, and that money should be distributed evenly amongst all the candidates. So, you know, I hate when I hear somebody, you know, the fact that money is make the determination as to who's going to get a nomination or who's going to get a bid or who's going to be elected. It should not have anything to do with money. It should have to do with common sense.
Cash is king, baby.
So, but
You know that.
but
Can I talk about one more thing, Jerry, real quick? One more thing I want to mention. Did you see about that truck driver that got bit by the dog? Did you see that on CNN?
I'm not familiar with that story.
Well, it's been on CNN all day. You probably didn't check it out.
I'll be honest. If it was on today, I haven't seen it. It was a slap of news today. I just seen a couple of headlines, but I have not seen any news today.
Can I give you the 2-minute bullet points on it?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go. Okay, so it was up in Ohio, 4th of July. The trooper was about to pull over a big truck, for not having a mud flap. Trooper got his sirens on, the lights going, and the guy trying to run from the daggone state trooper. A 20-minute chase down the interstate. He pulls over, and then the trooper gets out he's about to get out of the car, and the truck takes off again. So he's going down the road. Then they put the strips out in front of him, bust his tires open, had to stop him. They get out, all the nonsense. You got about 5 cars of troopers there yelling at the guy, get out the truck, get out the truck. The guy gets out the truck with his hands up. Okay. Now, the local police from Circleville, Ohio, they pull up with a K9 unit. And the trooper yells, don't sick the dog on him. He's unarmed with his hands up. He's yelling it 2 or 3 times, yelling it. The Circleville cop sick the dog on him anyway. Bit the boy, mauled him. And you see one of the female troopers, she's like about to cry. And then they had to pull him off of him, and he was like, he was saying, my hand was up. And the guy said, well, you shouldn't have ran. He said, I wasn't running. He said, yes, you was. So the boy, they took him to the hospital, they released him, and they took him to jail. Now, sicking a dog on him was wrong. And the cop should lose his job for that. Okay, and the boy gonna get paid from that. But one thing we learn as a truck driver, we are professionals. And when you see them blue lights in the back of your mirror, you pull over. If he just pulled over and got a ticket for a mud flap, he'd have been all right. Now he's gonna lose his CDL. He lost his job. He's in jail. He shouldn't have ran to begin with. He shouldn't have ran, exactly. But he's gonna get paid now because Benjamin Crump gonna come out there and have some lawsuit and you'll be paid and all that. But sometimes we gotta learn how to do better. This boy was 23 years old. Where are you gonna run in a big truck that don't do but 65 miles an hour anyway?
Well, like I say, we got to make better decisions.
But you see on CNN, you watch CNN now, you'll see it.
Yeah, like I said, I hadn't had an opportunity today to to get to the news. There's a couple of news stories that I've been kind of had seen the headlines on that I wanted to talk about tonight, but I can't because I don't have the details. So it's Yeah, I hear you. So, but yeah, Mr. John, I appreciate you giving me a call tonight. But we got to do something in the state of Florida to get this racism.
We do, man. I hope it's not too late. It's something got to give, man. Or we in trouble as a people.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yes, sir. All
Be
right,
good,
buddy. Well,
man.
you be safe out there.
All right, man.
Appreciate
We'll
you
holler at
calling.
later on.
All right.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, that was Mr. John. We tend to difference in slightly in opinion sometimes, but I think we both we're both on the same page, if you will. We're both on the same page. So, but yeah, the state of Florida is trying to whitewash our. Like Mr. Pugh said, I don't know if you still listen, Mr. John. Mr. Pugh put a comment in the comment section in regards to that story. He said the guy called 911 and said they're going to kill me. So, like I said, I'll get information on that story here and have a follow-up on Thursday night, but I can't say that I'm privy to that information tonight, so I really can't speak on the details of that story, and I apologize for that. But my main concern tonight was to let you guys know what the state of Florida is doing in regards to our educational system, and our kids are being force-fed lies and misrepresentation of our history. They're not talking about the actual things that happen in the history. They want to whitewash it, and to the point to where they are taking and blaming us for that 1920 massacre, that took place after a black man tried to vote. And we were massacred and we were killed and our homes were burned down and our shops was burned down and this, that, and other, and they want to put in the history books that violence took place on both sides. And we all know in the 1920s, black people didn't start violence. We were always the victims of violence, especially when it comes to white people. And that's what they don't want. That's what they don't want our young people to know. So, which is a travesty and such an injustice when it comes to our educational system. And I don't know, this educational board was appointed members, and we have to do something to get these dumbass people out and put some people in there with some common sense. Common sense goes a long way, and we find that, particularly on the Republican side of the aisle, that common sense is not a commodity, if you will. Yeah, but we have to, we got to be up on what's going on around us, people, because it's not fair. It's not equality. It's not civil. What is going on? What is taking place right now? We are under a dictatorship in the state of Florida. We are literally under a dictatorship right now with dumbass DeSantis, and he is trying to do anything and everything in his power to oppress black people. He is trying to do anything and everything in his power to erase our history. The LGBTQ community, he is doing anything in his power to basically wipe the LGBTQ community off the face of the earth, if you will. He's ran the Hispanics people out of Florida where they can't even, where they're in a position where they can't work. They're in a position they can't even go to the hospital without facing being arrested or what have you. So they're fleeing the state of Florida. The economy in Florida is terrible because there are no workers to do the jobs that the Hispanics are willing to do, and white people aren't willing to go out and in those fields and pick those peas and that those vegetables and those oranges and whatnot. They don't want to sit on top of those roofs and do roofs all day in this Florida heat, whatever. And the Hispanics were willing and able and eager to do those jobs, but they have fled the state because they fear the legislation that dumbass DeSantis has forced upon those people, and they have no other choice but to leave the state to go seek employment elsewhere. So that's why you don't see houses being built. You see the wood land dormant, if you will, in these housing complexes that are supposed to be being built, and you don't see anybody working because all the workers are gone. The economy here in Florida is going to hell, just like the state legislature is going to hell because they're racist, and I'm not scared to say it, and I say it to their faces. So But anyway, it is time for me to get up out of here. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. It's been a night well spent. And I'll be back on Thursday night. We'll continue these topics. And there's I still didn't get to other topics that I meant to get to tonight. But we'll follow that up on Thursday night. Just join me right here at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time right here on WPMM Internet Radio for The Truth with G. And we will continue on with these discussions. So, but until then, I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to be blessed. And we out of here, people. Y'all be blessed.
Old school talk, R&B, and hip hop. WPMM online radio.